Hello, today we're going to discuss my top 10 favorite flowers. Alright, so I've been gardening for a long time. I come from a family of gardeners. This list, I believe, would change drastically if I had recorded it a year ago, or a year before that, or next year. It's always evolving. I definitely emphasize on this list taller, back of the border style plants. These are all ornamentals. Not all of them are fragrant, so this was basically a list built on their visual characteristics. It's a wonderful hobby. It's fascinating in a million different ways, and as I said, you can explore the world of gardening for your entire life and notice how your tastes change, and you can be awed by what's out there. Not only the plants themselves, but the creative ways that different gardeners have utilized different plants in their own spaces. So it's a wonderful hobby. Let's jump right into the list. Number 10, Centaurea montana. This is a beautiful middle plant. It's not a ground cover, but it's maybe a little taller than knee high, and it has a seed pod which has a very pronounced black zigzag pattern on it. And erupting from the very top of it, we have this rack of like horns, like centaur, almost like a stag, coming out of the very top in like a purplish color. I think there may be white ones too, but it gives this beautiful effect. You have bulbous round, and then the rack coming out the top. Gorgeous plant. It doesn't bloom for very long. I think it's early summer blooming, and I just wish it had a longer blooming season because it's really a fantastic plant altogether. Number 9, Japanese anemone. Now there are many very small anemones that erupt down of like lawns, but this one is very tall, maybe 5 feet tall, and it's also called windflower, so you can imagine it swaying in the wind. It's a late summer long bloomer. They come in white and other colors. My favorite is the white, and when you pick apart the plant, it's got this beautiful salty aroma reminiscent of the ocean for me for some reason. And especially if you let it go to seed late in the season, as it releases its seed, it's almost like this snowy cascade, or like you've spilled a jar of salt, and you can see it just drifting there in the wind as it hangs on the very last days. It's a beautiful plant. It is very, very nice. Number 8. This one's actually a shrub, Calycanthus, sweet shrub, or Carolina allspice. I think this probably tops out at 5 feet wide and tall. It's got these deep red, maroon, sour-smelling flowers that are dotted all over the top of the shrub, and it almost looks like you've put little, like they stand up like little candles or something, and they have unusual flat strap-like leaves. And one of my friends says that it smells like the bottom of the wine bottle. So a really odd aroma. Very, very good ornamental shrub, and it holds those blooms for a long time. And then it also has these like seed sacs that form that give winter interest after it's finished blooming. But an odd aroma, and I do tend to like odd plants, as we'll see later in the list. So, number 7, beloved by all, Gardenia. This is on the list just because of the aroma. I love the smell. It's probably in my top 3, top 5 flower aromas, but this isn't a list strictly based on aroma. It is so wonderful. It's an intoxicating scent. I love that it's got some grit to the aroma. Like, it's not just a sweet and airy scent. You can really feel like some depth, some aroma that you can chew on. It's so good. Nice dark leaves. It can be trained into beautiful shapes. Actually, a lot of the ones I see are featured in. Well, this is Zone 6, so I don't think there are any hardy ones. So pretty much the ones you see around here that are old enough to do a good bloom display are kept indoors, and so they're potted. I'll have to check on that. But Gardenia scent is so wonderful. I love it. Number 6, Cosmos. All right, this one is also about 3 feet tall, maybe a little taller if they're healthy. What I like about this is that it's got a very long blooming season. It can be kind of meticulous to go in there and just trim off all the seed heads as they develop, but what you get is 2 very distinct shapes to enjoy on each plant, because you have the finished seed heads that have gone to seed, and those are just like a spray of like almost like a firework of round pointy like a ball of round pointy spikes, which is pretty cool. I like stuff like that anyway, like alliums that are just round shapes, but this isn't like a ball, it's just spikes. And you also have the flowers there on the same plant at the same time. And the one that I use a lot in gardens and see a lot is the orange cone flower. So beautiful orange color and an excellent combination for the eye. Number 5, Jewels of Opar. This plant has like a lime green low foliage, and it has maybe 1.5 feet tall stems that come up, and there are absolutely gorgeous, tiny marble-like, multicolored balls that erupt before the pink flowers come out. It is so amazing because you get like ochre colors, yellow, pink, maroon, beautiful arrangement of like different colors. It is so nice, and it's very subtle. You would have to have a very proper background to appreciate it fully, because it's just this wispy. I really like this too. Plants that have a wispy aspect where you can see through the flower to what's beyond. And this one gives you so much bang for your buck. All those beautiful colors. What made me fall in love with these, there was a flower show at the city fair a few years ago, and it was this beautiful award-winning little spray of gorgeous marbles. Well, they're very small. They're like pinheads, but so many bright and vivid and beautiful colors. Fantastic plant. Okay, number 4 is the rose. So I like big roses, and I like every type of rose aroma, from the spicier ones to the sweeter ones. Every time I get around a rose, I bury my nose in it and breathe so deeply. I mean, I will sniff a rose until my sense receptors in my nostrils are completely burned out and I'm not even getting anything anymore, or I'm sucking all of the aroma away through my nostrils. I love roses so much, and there's such a vast number of different kinds in the way that they've been developed and bred over the years. Every garden needs a rose in it. I like some of the tall, like scrambling, climbing roses too, but I mean just a straight up rose garden with big, beautiful, heavily scented, heavy scented roses. I love it. And I like the sweet ones and the spicier ones equally, so it had to make the list. Number 3. Actually, we're on number 3. Nicotiana. This is the tobacco plant used ornamentally in flower gardens. What I like about it, it stands up at about 4 feet tall when it's healthy, and it's got, of course, the big broad leaf base. The flower stalks have these long, tubular, nodding white flowers, that are scented, and they smell so beautiful. I don't know if it's because I used to smoke years and years ago and quit, but there's something about the aroma that it's very light, it's a gentle scent. The shape of the flower is so cool. It's almost like a long, tiny PVC tube, and then at the very end it splays open into like 5 petals. I love structurally tall plants that have like erect stems and some kind of an odd flower on the top, and this one is amazing. And they nod, so you've got it's kind of, I like the nodding onion too, and there's something about the way that the plant flowers point downward that's just begging for something below it to point upward. And then tack that on to tack a good background on, and you've got a very beautiful display. And of course, I like white flowers a lot. They go in every single color scheme. They fit perfectly in so many scenarios, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful plant. Number 2, Cleome, or the spider plant. This one looks like it's straight out of science fiction film. It has, it can get quite tall. It's got pinkish, purple, and white flowers on the top that are kind of weirdly shaped. It's hard to describe it, but it's got like these cat whiskers coming out. There's also a plant called the bat plant, or the bat flower. That's really odd too, but Cleome is a lot more popular and common. I'm in zone 6, but it shoots out all these long, like, whiskers, and they form pods that are very long, like bean pods, but very small, and those crack open, and that's where you find the round seeds inside. But it's structurally like really striking, and it's like there's so many plants that you can enjoy them from a distance, and as you approach, they don't unveil even more evocative display. But Cleome's one where you can appreciate it from far away, and then as you approach it, you're like, oh, this plant is weird. It's got these strange things going on, and it's so beautiful. Once again, structurally quite tall and unique, and it rewards. Very easy to grow, very rewarding, fantastic plant. And number 1, my favorite garden plant of all is Liatris, also known as blazing star or gay feather. This plant, there's white ones. I've never seen them get too tall, but they're most commonly pinkish purple. And they shoot up these very tall, straight spikes way up into the air. I've seen them like 6 feet tall. And from the clump, you get these wild looking, firework looking spikes shooting up into the air. I think any garden receives a benefit from this plant. And what erupts from this very straight, unusual, like sword-like pinkish spike are these hairy little odd flowers that come out. It's so fantastic. It's my favorite garden plant. Liatris, I put it in my mom's garden right in the front of her house, and I recommend it to everybody. It is so fascinating to see a plant. There's something about it. It just shoots straight up. It doesn't go here and there. It doesn't really have. It's like this. It's this amazing one-note display. I think that fits almost every situation. There's something about it. I just love the Liatris plant. That's my number 1 garden plant. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I do certainly think that as I experiment with more plants and I'm exposed to more plants, that my taste will shift. Maybe I should do one of these videos annually because But this list is very different from like top 10 essential garden plants or top 10 aromatic plants or top 10 weird plants. This is just kind of a catch-all. General garden usage. I think that all of these could make their way into a modestly sized garden, and it's a fascinating world. So there you have it. Thanks for tuning in.